Very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It rained a little bit just now, but I'm really glad that all of you were able to make it. Let me just start by saying that I think we are absolutely honored to have an amazing individual with us here today. Someone who has contributed so much to the nation, so to the field of zoology in Malaysia, actually around the region, I think. Yeah. And I think first and foremost we need to be clear, I think so everyone is clear that zoology is not about running a zoo. Okay, it's nothing to do with that. Okay, just like how anthropologists would maybe study about people and how they function, a zoologist would go about spending literally their entire life studying about animals, studying about how animals function internally and also how they function within the environment, and how we relate to them and how they relate to us. And our distinguished guest, Dr. Lim Boo Liat, just so you know, we have a lot of animals who are actually named after him. Would you care to mention a few? Would you care to go through a few of those animals named after you? I know one of it is a pig.
I got a lot of parasites, internal worms, helminths, and also ectoparasites, fleas, lice, mice, etc., including a frog and a snake. And I also have beetles. Up to date, I have about 12 parasites, 12 animal parasites named after me. Now, to be able to say that it's named after me, one has to be very careful in the sense that you, as a parasite, you have to be very intelligent. There are intelligent parasites. There are also non-intelligent parasites. The intelligent parasites are parasites that maintain the host alive all the time, so they can reap the benefit. And non-intelligent parasites are the virus. The viruses are bad parasites because after some times they kill themselves, they kill the host, and also they kill themselves. Therefore, please, if you want to be a parasite, try to be an intelligent parasite.
I think we all try our very best to be intelligent parasites. So let's all be parasites and try to learn as much as we can from Dr. Lim this afternoon. Seeing that so many parasites were named after you, was that one of your fields of interest, parasites?
Most of the parasites named after me, particularly the snakes, the frogs, and also all the external parasites and internal parasites, are parasites that I work with and discovered.
I was just going through a lot of these books. There's one book here, Nature Conservation in Western Malaysia, 1961. I think you wrote a paper here, and honestly, he has written papers everywhere. Like if you look through this Encyclopedia of Malaysia, it's just full of his name. And Dr. Lim covers so many different types of animals. So as a zoologist, how do you go about trying to focus on one field of study? Do you have like a particular interest in only studying about parasites, or do you enjoy covering many different types of animals?
I have a particular interest. First, I got to know about the host. So I study the host first. And my specialty is small mammals. I do learn a lot, some about large mammals. And I would like to introduce here to you, Mr. Muhammad Khan, the pioneer conservationist of this country. When he was In the wild, he was a Director General for 21 and a half years. The longest ever Director General ever appointed in the country. That shows you how much interest that young man has.
Still young.
It will be very interesting that after we eventually, some other times when you're gathered together, is get him to come talk to you about large mammals, which is very, very important. Because a lot of people talk about conservations, but they have not seen the animals yet.
That's very true. And I think just like in your field of study as well, we have not seen a lot of the animals that you deal with. You know? So, what started your interest in animals?
Yeah, I started my interest when I joined the Institute for Medical Research in 1947. That is immediately after the Second World War. The Second World War stopped at September 1945. When I joined the Institute for Medical Research as a laboratory assistant, I'm not even qualified to become a laboratory assistant because I do not have a senior Cambridge. A senior Cambridge means a Form 5, as you know. Now it means Form 5. But immediately after war, in 1945, I stayed in Klang and I decided that it's high time that I should get a job. I came to KL. I found that there was some vacancies in the Institute for Medical Research. I applied. And they relaxed the qualification because they were not able to get enough people to join as a laboratory in the Institute for Medical Research. And I joined with a research institution, a research division. The research division is known as the Scalp Typhus Division. And the Scalp Typhus Division is, although it's only attached to the IMR, is supported by the Colonial Development Fund. Although when I applied for a job, I was given a job to be in the bacteriology division, which I turned it down because it's $80 a month at that time. But I need more money because I have to support my family. So I decided that there is a temporary division. I'm prepared to go to a temporary division and work in temporary division where I can get 1.5 times the salary. So it was $112 a month. And there I was very, very lucky that I worked with some British officers. One of them is the late Professor G.R. Odie, who is a medical anthropologist, and he's fantastic. He's a head of the medical zoology department. The next person is the late Dr. J.L. Harrison. You must have heard of his name. He has published several books. And I was directly working under him because they want someone to work on small animals. Now, small animals in this case are the small mammals, rats, squirrels, and all the small mammals, not the large mammals, lizards, amphibians and reptiles, frogs and lizards and all this, and snakes, and including birds as well. One of the reasons why he wants me to work on that is not only to collect the animals and dissect the animals, post-mortem the animals, collect any parasites, external or internal, for studies. Because some of these parasites have medical or public importance. Medical importance means the possibility of this parasite can be of public importance. Public importance is only like with a scalp typhus, which is a mite, is a public importance, it carries a disease. Medical importance, chances that this parasite eventually can carry a disease is also equally as good as a vector that carries diseases.
I'm sure while going around collecting all these parasites, you did a lot of field work. Would you like to share any of your most memorable experiences doing field work?
During my field, I do collections in every part of Peninsula Malaysia during 30 over years with the Institute for Medical Research. My initial stage in 1947 to 1950, I was trained not only by the late J. Harrison, who's a pioneer zoologist in this country at that time, and I was trained by him, but more important is in the field, you need someone who can train you as well. And I was very, very happy and glad. And my gratitude goes to the Orang Asli. They were the one that really trained me in the field. They were the one who knows about natural history of the country. I used to call them as nature naturalists. Now to come back to this area, a lot of us scientists, we think we know, but actually, most of them, some of them, not I will say most of them, some of them get their knowledge from the Orang Asli, and when they write it up, they ignore them. When you do a writing or any publications, if anybody who is with you and participated, now the word is participated in the research, I think it is only fair that he should be properly acknowledged. Besides, if he's really good, he should be a co-author, and eventually we should cultivate these people to be senior author. Now, in my life of publications, so I published about more than 300 papers in my life, I always make it an effort that those that work with me are either my authors or senior authors eventually. The reason I advise them that the first paper they ever read, because they are new scientists, first paper they ever publish, probably I can give me a chance, I will not give me a chance, I would like to be a senior author and maybe second author. Why I demanded? Because to get it published in the international journal or even some of the local journal, I will say a very bad word of this journals, most journals are put together. And when, because they know me, I publish so much in the international that they know me well. They look at my name there, they say, well, if Lim's name is there, then probably the article must be good. So the paper goes. If you are not known, you can write a paper much better than a good scientist ever written. The journal will think twice before getting published. So the second time, when the same person writes a paper, I'll be his second or last author. If it's 5 authors, I'll be the last author. The third time, I say no more. If the paper is published by you alone, or you have done this work alone, you should be a single author. Because he has already introduced into the various journals and so forth. More important is to be able to introduce his lecture, who is just coming up and get in jail. As a scientist, publication is very, very important. And most scientists, unfortunately, young scientists, unfortunately, have gone through this later part of my life. They don't refer. Even today, I know my snakes, I know my lizards, I know my rats very well, I know most of the small mammals very well. If I find a rat or a snake or lizards that's new, I know it's new because I've examined to many species. The moment I look at it, a snake, I can tell whether this is a new discovery or a very rare incident I found these animals. I would refer my observations and send the snakes to another person who is my co-workers or whoever it is to get a second opinion. And I failed recently. I failed in the recent years to try to encourage young scientists. Very good, you have done a darn good job, but please refer. But they tend to feel that what I say is true, and that is not very good.
I think times have changed quite a bit from when you first started in the field up until today. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen happen?
Yeah, I agree with you here very wholeheartedly. It's during my period in 1947 up to 1965 to 70, I was very lucky. In a sense, there's not much competitions. Because university just started in 1960 something. And for the university to produce a person, a zoologist, it takes some years before you produce. And to be able to come to a standard that I've done on a practical and so forth would take them some more time. So they have no chance to chase after me. Secondly, what I come to today, also is very lucky. Not if I say that, I feel very cruel to say things. Most of my mentors are very old, and most of them, I outlive them. That's another point I was very lucky. Not that lucky that what I say, there's nobody to prove that I'm wrong. You see, all my mentors, I can quote at least about 15 mentors, international, all of them passed. So I used to joke with in the international meeting. I said, now what I said, what I presented, nobody to credit me, because all my mentors nothing. So what I said must be true. One has to be very careful. So don't take advantage of that, please.
So whatever that he says, take it with a pinch of salt. There was no one around to critique him at that point. Just going back to the earlier bit of your life, actually. I read in another interview about how you had to stop schooling at one point, and then your teachers actually forced you, and brought you back to school. But would you just care to share that experience?
When I was in primary school, I came from a very miserable poor family. And I go to school barefooted. And sometimes my shirts full of holes. And those teachers, every time, when I go to school, I'm noted as a naughty boy. And at the end of the third week, I left. I had to find an excuse to absent myself to go and sell sugar cane. You chop the sugar cane into small pieces and sell it 1 cent. And I'm going to sell it for such about $2.50 to pay my school fees. That sometimes takes me 2 days, sometimes takes me 3 days to get that amount of money to go back and pay the school fee and go back to school. So many times I'm late school. So what happened was, then the teacher was so fed up with me. You always come late, you make a very big model of everybody, bing bang, Then he said, okay, take a chair out. Go and stand in the veranda, school veranda. And then at the 11 o'clock, what the time, all the school teachers got, all the school children, go to the canteen and recess hours. So when all the recess hours come, they pass me the link, and I have to put on a label, the bad boy at the back, and then everybody look at it. So it happens so often. So one day I told you, no need for the teacher to call me now. He said, no. I take the chair myself. Every time I take the chair myself, to the right, put on the thing, stand up. And I remember when I reached Form 2, I passed my Form 3, and Form 4, I came to a stage. This is no life. At that time, I'm not a teenager. I would feel shameless and everything. I said, this is no life for me. Now, the thing that came into my mind at that time, I always think, when the grass is always green, there's always life. One, if the grass is green, there's always life. I can just forget about education. I can go to any place and see the find odd jobs to do and not be very happy about myself. So I decided not to go to school for 2 weeks. So my teacher, 3 teachers. One is Mr. Francis, Mr. Afat, and Sababati. Sababati of the high school play, he's a mathematician teacher. Francis is an English teacher, and Mr. Afat is an art teacher. All are from Raffles College. They are the one that give me help. Francis will knock my head every time I go wrong, Sababati will slap me each time I talk too much, And Afat will say, this is no good, we done it again, And what happens? I say, this is too much. I decided to not go to school. And these 3 teachers gave me a lot of headache, always hit me from standard 3, standard 4, standard 5. They were falling, every year they brought to another class. And the amount of knocking on the head, slap on the face, and was kicked times in those days. But I dare not tell my parents that I was kicked by the teacher or hammered by the teacher. Because if I say that, I get another kick and I slap. So in the old days, your school teacher is your parents. And it is right to allow the school teacher to be your parent. So they came to my house. I was in the field with my father, collecting some vegetables to sell. And they told my mother, your son is very naughty. But by Monday, I want him to go to school. So Monday, I went. I did not say no. I went. And they took me to the headmaster. The headmaster of the high school at that time is an Irish person. I said, this idea, I'm going to be called up to the hall. In the old days, you can be called up to the hall where the teachers, the students can go to the hall, sit down there, and look at you with cane. That's how I was caned 2 or 3 times, that's how And I thought, this is the day I'm going to be caned. But I had made up my mind to fight back. But they said, headmaster, you know that your 3 teachers were so good to you, they are prepared to pay, give you new books, everything up to senior Cambridge. You better come back. We in the school will give you free tuition. Then no need for you to pay $2.50 up to senior Cambridge. But unfortunately, the war came and my father died. Then I'm alone to support 6 people in the family. Despite the fact that a lot of people immediately after the war wanted me to go back to school, but I was not able to because they can support me. I got 6 people that I would feed. So I leave it as that. I do all kinds of funny works. I was a soap manufacturer in Carey Islands. I manufacture soap. I manufacture salt. Because Carey Island, Straits of Malacca, there, the salt content is very, very high. And you boil it for 8 hours. After 8 hours, the salt, the water crystallizes and turns into salt. And the salt that you boil up is as good as the salt that you buy from the supermarket today. Beautifully clean. Then the ash of the wood that boils up has a lot of soda content, especially mangrove forest wood. The content is quite high. So what do? You boil that up. It's a matter of try and error. You boil it, get the water, sieve the water nicely. For about a few hours, sieve the water. Then the water is quite clear. Then you add the coconut oil into it, boil it. Boil with 45 gallons, 40 gallons of drum. Stir it, and then you put salt and you crystallize it into basil. That was how I decided during the Japanese War and after the war in the school, where the teachers were very good. In the old days, the teachers were all for students. They were very, very good. But nowadays, we cannot say they are not. They are also good, but environments are different. That doesn't give them an opportunity really to look what I. Don't say I will say what they pay about 80% of their life for the students, but now they cannot do that. It's because a different environment, a different perspective. But they are still good teachers. They are still very good teachers in the country.
Well, the lesson to be learned here is it pays to be naughty. So if your kids are naughty in school, let them be. It's amazing to see this whole adventure about how Dr. Lim was such a naughty student and how he almost just dropped out of school, and the education system could have just left him behind, but instead the teachers took it into their own hands to bring him back. And so my question related to that is that now that you are a mentor to so many other scientists, to so many other zoologists, how do you see yourself making an impact in their life? Like, what kind of lessons do you impart to them?
It's what I'm trying to do after it's a bit of a long talk. While I was working in India in Sikh American research in the sub-type investigations, I learned a lot. I learned about parasites of medical and public health importance. I was given a chance to write papers. I was taught how to write papers. Given all these opportunities by my mentors. So what happens? When I retired in 1970, I was given a lot of opportunities besides this. In 1962, I got a scholarship known as the Sino-British Fellowship Trust, which is in England, to go to England for 1 year, where I spent 4 months in Oxford University, 4 months in Aberdeen University in Scotland, and 4 months in the Natural History Museum in London. Each of this area, I did a piece of work where I had to be presented to the university before I left there. Now, immediately after when I finished my 12 months at the university, at the Natural History Museum, I was given another scholarship to come back. No, the scholarship also gave me a chance to come back, but an additional scholarship, instead of coming directly back to Kuala Lumpur from London, they gave me an extra scholarship by the Hooper Foundation, University of California Medical Center. I was awarded another scholarship. We spent 3 months before I came back. I spent 3 months in the New York Natural History Museum, Chicago Natural History Museum, and Smithsonian Museum to work on the Malaysian materials collected by previous people, and also some of the collections were mine at the time. Then on my way back, the Hooper Foundation Scholarship also takes me down to Japan for 1 week, working with Professor Sasa on scrub typhus parasites. About a week also in Formosa University with the NAMRI 2, United States Army Navy Medical Research on lungworms that found in the rats that causes human meningitis, eosinophilic meningitis. Now, and on the way I stopped in Hong Kong for nearly about 2 weeks, working with the Public Health Institute in Hong Kong. Then I came back in 1962. 1662. I was given that kind of opportunity, you know. Then in 69, I was given another opportunity. I was then only a lab assistant. And in 1965, while I was a lab assistant, we had a Chinese officer in my division where the British officers all go back on Malaysianizations. So I got this Chinese officer came in as an officer in charge. He had an MSc from Singapore U. I went to meet him because my English boss asked me to go to Singapore to meet him and talk to him whether he would like to come join IMA or not, you know. So he came and joined. And what happened was, in 1965, he went to London to do his PhD, working on materials that he collected and I collected, because his officer, whatever I collected belongs to him. You know, he collected and he took a long time to do this piece of job. The late Uncle Omar of the Institute for Medical, the director of the Institute for Medical Research, at that time went to visit him. And he told the director, Uncle Omar, that Lim should not be allowed to do research because he's only a lab assistant. Uncle Omar took it, came back home, immediately did not tell me this. Immediately told me, Lim, I want you to start a new division. We started a new division called Medical Ecology. He gave me $500 to start a division. He gave me a old carpenter shop, you know, to rebuild a new division. How could I build a division for $500? It's impossible, you know. But I had good friends. I had friends from the United States Army Medical Research Unit, Hooper Foundation, San Francisco Medical Center, and NAMRI 2 in Cairo. I wrote to them and they said, no difficulty, we will support you whatever. And the whole thing cost me $60,000 to build a laboratory. and turned it into a medical ecology division, where I got an opportunity myself. Now I'm head of the division as a lab assistant at the time. I had an opportunity to say what I want to say. So I said, for all the universities, we have 2 or 3 universities at that time in the country. I coordinate with them, they work with me. I coordinate with universities in many other countries, they work with me. And the reason why I do that is because I need money. I need their allowance, I need their research fund and so forth. And I was able to continue that division without the assistance of our government. Of course, they pay the salary of everybody, on the research fund. I got research fund of 5,000 a year, which is not enough. I decided to get research fund of nearly, during my period of schooling, I think about $2 million US research fund for the division to carry on. You see, it's so important for any research people, for scientists, is to have a beautiful network. Unless you have a beautiful network, you will not be able to expand your knowledge. We need, it is nice that we must be nationalistic. But at the same time, you are too nationalistic, you will never improve. I mean, talking in the field of science, not politics, talking in the field of science. Because only you grow among yourself. How far you can go? We need outside people to come in. We need the knowledge. It's not a benefit, it's a mutual benefit. Mutual benefit in the sense that we learn from them, we learn from us. They bring in their people, we teach them. They come and teach us, our people, and both equally as we so. So it is so very important to really advance your research field. You need network. That doesn't mean that foreigners are better than us. No, I do not say. I say it is a mutual understanding. I can pinpoint several people here who are very good in this subject, and today they are very, very good.
I think I think you personally have benefited quite a bit from traveling, like what you said, traveling all over and visiting all these places. Do you see our young zoologists also having those kind of opportunities?
I think it all depends here. I came across a very young zoologist. But today, zoologists are finding it difficult to get jobs. That is one of the points. And also, today, there are too many things that people can go for, like biotechnology and all that, DNA. And DNA is a big thing today. And if you don't, when you write a proposal without a DNA there, it means nothing. They don't even want to smell it. No grant. So DNA is one factor. And DNA is a laboratory type of work. It is good for an officer to learn about DNA, how to interpret DNA and so forth, how to interpret the results. But this kind of job can be done by a laboratory assistant. The officers should know about it. He should know well, he should be an authority in this particular field. But he should train the lab assistant or his assistant, whatever they call it, technical assistant, whatever, or research assistant, to also work on this field and interpret and learn how to write, so that he has more time to think how to expand his work and so forth. But on animal ecology and so forth, you need to go to the field. You must go to the field. Say I want to do a cryptid species between species A and species B. I'm talking rats now. Species A, species B. Now, to a biotechnologist. He said, all right, you catch the animal. I take some blood, I take some air, I take some skin. I look at the DNA. This one is different from that. The difference is so blinding. So different. So it must be some differences. Therefore, whether I should turn this into a new species or a subspecies, to me, I cannot accept it. And I think my friend Khan would not also. Because we felt that you must go into the field to study the animal behavior in its natural environment. Now, it is very easy to say that, these animals are living in the primary habitats, or in the secondary forest habitats, or in the grassland habitats, so very easy. These are habitats, big habitats. It's an area. But to be able to understand the movement of the animals, where they stay and so, we call it the niche. N-I-C-H-E. That means like human. But you got a niche. Your niche is your home. You go home and stay there and eat there and sleep there. So are same animals. Now, when you want to study animals and so forth, crypto species, that's what you want to study the niche, where they stay and so forth. To give you a very good example, how parasites can be used as an ecological labeling of the host. I remember in 1948, at that time I know nothing very much about animals, but we went to Johor. We got a shrew, a big shrew, called it the moon rat. Very big fellow, and a long nose, and now, according to textbook, it is an insectivore. But if you follow according to the textbook, you will never be able to get enough insects to feed an animal that big in captivity. But it so happened, I was doing some experimentation on fishes, on certain parasites that give to the fish, and so forth. And I put my fish near the aquarium. One night, the fish, the shrew, broke through the wire mesh, jumped into the aquarium, and ate up all my fish. Now, this gives you an idea or an impression that probably this animal feeds on fish as well. Insect, although is eaten as a main food, but they also eat other food. And the interesting part of it is later part, I just saw that. I managed to get it up, and subsequently I feed them on ikan kambung. Ikan kambung, those days very cheap. Nobody wants it. You can go to the market and pick it and feed it. No? And what happens is they live very well. And I was not satisfied that in captivity, Khan will support me here. My friend Mr. Khan will support me. In captivity, you can induce an animal to feed on a normal food, which is not found, which in nature they do not go for in the forest. They adapt themselves very well. It's just a human being. Human beings are the most adaptable animal. Now, we can adapt ourselves very, very well. So are a lot of animals in the jungle also. Now, one day the orang-asing got into from Urulangat forest, so Selangor, and came in dead. So I do a post-mortem of the whole thing and look at the endoparasite, the inside the intestine parasite, and I found there's a high frequency of parasites that belong specifically to the fish that support my laboratory feeding habits. But you see, when you sometimes textbook is very good, textbook give you guidance. But we never think, we believe so much on textbook that this animal is insectivorous. But really, when you look at the animal, it is insectivorous, no doubt about it. But look at the nose, it's long nose. You look at the feet is slightly wet, you know. Feet slightly wet, long nose is rooted. Feet slightly wet, they are able to go into the river to search for other prey species. So this particular ship has a sort of, that's why for parasite studies, you can use the parasites, because parasite studies will refer you to the type of host they are. Not only you can use that species as an ecological labeling, that is to know what type of food to eat in the wild. At the same time, you can also know that what type of habitat niche, that's why I call it niche habitat, where they go and pick up the food.
I just have one last very, very important question for Dr. Lim. I'm sure we all remember a few years back, there were reports of, there were sightings of bigfoot in Johor. Where was it? In Mersing, I think. So what is your comment on that? Have you ever found any evidence of Bigfoot?
I thought it's very interesting. I remember in 1994, 96, I was with the University Kebangsaan Lestari as a scientific fellow for 1 year, because they gave me money for that. They gave me $2,500 a month. That money was a grant given by ISIS. And my job there was to work with the graduate student, postgraduate student, most of them are MSc, going to study MSc and several weekend, and we work in the field, you know. And so I spent 3 years with them, 2 years free, 1 year pay, because I got so interested, so involved with these students, because I had a weakness. My weakness, if there are too many girl students, I find very difficult to fill them. That's very unfortunate. And we were talking so far, and they did a damn good job, a really good job. And they hated me very, very badly, because I gave them very, very tough time. You know, in the university, the frog is there and the rock, they have to go down and go down, catch the frog, or go down, photograph the frog. Even in the night, we do our frogging in the night. We started at 9 o'clock, we won't come back about 1 a.m. And that is very interesting, because in the night, when you walk around in the forest, you see all kinds of things. And at the same time, also you hear all kinds of things. It tends to, you know, because your consciousness begin to think, there must be some spirit here. When the moment you talk about it, you hear. So what I did, after that, after 2 years, I said, nothing. Yeah, but they got an excellent, they do their work. There's something got, there were teachers of EA and so forth. And what happened was that Professor Nodi, fantastic. Nodi is a wonderful child, a man very knowledgeable. He's a professor, and he's a darn good teacher. very, very rigid, absolutely strict. And I remember in this class when he's teaching his students all fearing no allegations. One day after that I left, then he phoned me up in the house, he said, "Lim, there's big footprints. We should go and have a look." So we came to our house. We went to this parrot site. There's a footprint. So we went to see the footprint. Unfortunately, it was a wet day. So the chance of that footprint is being elongated as well as being washed and so forth. But important thing here is the moment you mention Bigfoot, the orang asli come right here and say, yes, Their family is coming in, they took bath here, all kinds of story will come to And notice that he went into the literature, he went into internet, and he come up with all the Bigfoots and so forth, even in America. In America, they also found Bigfoot, and they have photographs of Bigfoot. We also have photographs of Bigfoot, but up to now, nothing has been really very much known about it. Whether it is there or not, there is a possibility. During the Japanese time, they say that they've seen Bigfoot. I know as a boy, in the jungle, in rubber estate, they say the Bigfoot have hunted the dog and run around. That I think in this sort of Bigfoot, I think it's one of those soldiers. A lot of soldiers during the Japanese time, British soldiers, and are left behind, and they stay in the jungle. I think Bigfoot is hard to. There must be. So much has been talked about it in America in particular. So much research has been going on. Possibilities are there, but nothing concrete come out.
As the man himself has said, the possibilities are there. Wow, very, very interesting.